Now, okay. So what's up? My name's Hayden. You are obviously Max Fry. I have a YouTube channel where I hope to interview indie artists. I hope I can get some more in the future. But basically, can you elaborate on who you are? I mean, obviously, people watching this probably already know, but just introduce yourself.
Yeah, man, I'm Max Fry. That's my actual name too, and artist name. Been making music for about 10 years now. Um, just started singing like 2.5 years ago. Um, I don't have any background in music. I didn't grow up with like a music family or guitar lessons or anything like that. I just really liked music and wanted to learn how to make it. So I was producing for a while and then taught myself guitar, taught myself how to, yell on the mic, I guess, and produce and stuff. And then like here we are now. So I've had this project kind of moving since like 2023. I started dropping stuff with, my vocals on it and shit. And yeah, so we're like one EP in, one album in, and hoping to drop a lot more shit in the coming year. So
Yeah, I was gonna say. I saw your first. I think it was your EP was like in 2023, and you have like blown the fuck up. I think you have like like 700K monthly listeners on Spotify.
Yeah, it was weird. Like I definitely it kind of was like one of those overnight things, but I think it's like a little different because I wasn't like this kid that dropped his very first song and it blew up. It was like I had been producing for so long under like a bunch of different aliases and even released like music under this Max Fry alias, and then I kind of just wanted to shift the I wanted to be more in the spotlight of like me being the front person and doing vocals and recording and everything instead of just producing with other people's vocals on it and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'd been like in the game for a while and it just kind of like had my moment when I decided to start doing vocals, which was like obviously very fortunate. I'm super blessed that the community and fans and everything picked up on it so fast and really like fucked with the music and everything. Um, because that just gave me like a lot more fuel and inspiration to keep going. Because I didn't really know where I was gonna be after I had made my first EP. I didn't know how it was gonna be received or anything. So it's kind of like a last ditch effort of okay, here's my music. I'm gonna sing on it. Let's see what people think. And I was like, if it gets like 10,000 streams, that'd be awesome. And then it just kind of changed my life in the course of a couple months. So it was really cool.
How how fast did it like pop off as soon as you dropped it? Like
It was like different. So I think kind of like partially overnight, but then not really. I think I had posted. So I did like a cover of Earthquake by Tyler the Creator,
mm,
and I made it in like 2 days. And this was like after I'd already had my EP done. And I kind of was like, I want to start with a cover, and I started posting on TikTok. And my manager, who's like a good friend of mine from school, he like told me, like you gotta just post on TikTok a bunch, and I was like, I don't want to fucking do that, but I guess I'll do it. So I started posting on TikTok like 4 times a day, just like anything I thought that would pop off, like me playing guitar, singing, um, just dumb slideshows and like edits of shit and stuff. And I posted like 4 times a day, taught myself how to edit like videos and shit in DaVinci Resolve, and oh yeah, I was posting like 4 times a day for a month, and just nothing was happening. I had like a few haters here and there on like the Earthquake remix, like just saying it was shit and stuff, and I was kind of like, oh, that's funny, like whatever. But it was getting like some engagement, but not really anything. And then after like a month of that, I kind of was like, you know what, fuck this. Like I want to drop like my actual like EP. So I was like, I teased Dark Out, I think first, and I put it on TikTok, and it was like the first video I had used with Dark Out. Everything else for a month of posting 4 times a day was Earthquake, and so I post Dark Out, and it just immediately blows up like not like viral, but it did like, like 60,000 likes, which like I had never seen
Damn,
more than
nice.
like 500 likes on a post from the cover. So I was like freaking out, like, holy shit. And I'm completely indie, like still to this day. So like the model that I run with my manager is like, okay, if we have this song blowing up, like let's just drop it immediately. We don't have any like red tape that we have to go through labels and stuff. So it's like let's just drop the music, get it out, and then like try to capture all this traction that's happening on TikTok. So we expedite the song to come out, and it was like it was a weekend, so we couldn't get it out till like Monday. So it finally comes out on Monday, and I'd had like two more posts like with Dark Out that were going well too, like right after that happened. And then it drops Monday, and on that Monday, I'm like, I'm just gonna like I didn't even talk to anyone about it. I was like, I'm just gonna tease like at the next song. So I was like, I just teased Zombie, and then that one blew up
Yeah,
like
I was gonna
twice as
say,
hard.
honestly.
Yeah, and I was just like, holy shit. So I was like, I gotta drop Zombie now. So I was like, okay. So Dark Out came out on like a Monday, and Zombie came out on like that same Friday. So it was so like close together just because we were running off that model of like let's just capture all of the engagement that we're getting.
Yeah, I feel
Um,
you. Yeah,
so yeah, that was like
I would have thought Zombie would have been the first one to like really blow up. I didn't know it was Dark Out.
yeah, it was actually Dark Out, and then Zombie. And when that was happening, I was just posting Dark Out and Zombie every day. I was just slamming it, and they're all going well. But we're talking like 5,000 streams a day, which was like at the time I was like, holy shit, this is crazy. I never had anything like that before. And so then fast forward to about a month in of just spamming those two songs. I was like, let's tease the next one. So then I teased Lungs. And then that one just like immediately took off again, like the other three. So I'm just kind of like, holy shit, like everything, like everyone's fucking with these songs. And so then after Lungs was popping off, we were like, let's hold off on dropping this one and let's wait until we drop the EP. So it was like July at this point, and we were gonna drop the EP at the end of August. So we're like, let's just hold off and build up some hype for the whole EP instead of just doing like one song at a time. So I didn't drop Lungs and until end of August with like everything else. And then I want to say like a week before my EP was supposed to come out, I made like that whole post. I don't know if you know like the lore of like the Skate 3 stuff with my music, but I
No.
made this post basically saying um, that my song was in Skate 3 from like 2011 or whatever, like the video game, and or I alluded to it being in there,
Hmm.
and it just went like mega viral, like it blew up like 50 times harder than like the stuff had been blowing up before, and that one was with Zombie, and that's why Zombie kind of like became my song where like that was the most popular at the time because it just like skyrocketed right a week before my EP. So then I had all of this engagement that was pushed towards the EP coming out that week with like everyone streaming Zombie and all this stuff. So I had like over like the course of a week, I just had like all these eyes on me. I had like 30 different labels trying to sign me, and it was like everyone's eyes were on me. I was like hitting the whatever like algorithms where labels pick up on it and they're like, oh shit, some buzz is happening. Like that was happening. So I had all these labels and shit, and I was like, I've always been fuck labels, and so I always stayed independent, and yeah, so I just kind of like kept that momentum. And my next song after the EP was Stain, which is like one of my favorite songs I've done. And yeah, ever since then, it's just been kind of like building off that initial spike of engagement and then just trying to capture as many fans as possible from the process of just dropping new shit, doing cool music videos, doing cool shit, and building up like the Instagram and stuff. So
Yeah.
that was kind of like the initial push, I guess.
How many uh how many shows have you done like in person?
I've done actually like just was counting this the other day. I haven't done a lot, like compared to some people. I know you interviewed Stacy. I know he's done like way more, but I think I've probably done like 20, I want to say. And this is all in 2024. I'd never played a show until 2024. So I think like between like doing some headlining shows and opening up for Thanks So Much, I think I got about 20 under my belt now.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, you mentioned ecstasy. I whenever I talked to him in like 2021, this was before he had ever done like a show at all, and
Holy shit.
I think he had like I want to say like 400,000 like monthly listeners, and then he was going on tour like 2 or 3 weeks after we talked, and I just like watched his numbers as he started like touring around and like actually playing in person. I think he was doing shows for free, so like anybody could come to him, and like
That's
that
fair.
shit just like blew him up. Like he just started like growing like fuck after he started performing.
Yeah, dude, he's an amazing performer. I got to see him in Orlando. Great dude.
Hell yeah.
Um, yeah, go ahead.
I was just say, speaking of, aren't you doing a show in Orlando? Or you have like a couple shows in Florida, don't you? Coming up?
Yeah, I'm born and raised Orlando, so I kind of selfishly wanted to. I just told my team like we gotta do a Florida tour.
Yeah.
In between like other stuff happening in 2025. So, I've just been working on the album like all the fall and had like the song with Thanks So Much that I was working on. But in between, I just said like let's just do a Florida run and just get like the diviest venues,
Yeah.
like the grittiest spots where like everyone can just fucking mosh in like a tiny room. And so yeah, that's what we're doing. We're doing starting this week actually on Thursday, doing Miami and then Orlando and then Jacksonville. So I'm obviously like super hype about the Orlando show because that's like my hometown. But it's gonna be fun.
Oh yeah, that's sick, dude. What was I want to ask you, like, you said you were producing for 8 years.
I've been producing now. Okay, let me see. I've been producing since 2014. So, but keep in mind, like the first 3 years was like really just trying to figure out like what the hell's going on. And it takes so long, to get really good at producing, especially if you're not doing it full time and you're in school or you're running a job or whatever. But it's been about 11 years, I'd say, like close to 11 years now.
Were you like, I mean, I don't know if you want to give away your like producer aliases or anything, but were you like pretty successful, or?
No, I never was like I don't know how much lore to give away, but I have I won't say the name of the project, but basically there is well I so kind of long story short, I went to school for economics and math and graduated and got a finance job. And at this during this whole time I had been learning how to produce and all this stuff. I was just like, needed to pay bills and shit.
Yeah.
So I had a finance job that was fine. And I had always wanted to, do music full time. So while I was kind of figuring out the land of music I was making, I was also making music under the side for money under an alias I won't leak at this time. But it was under like Lo-Fi Girl, if you're familiar with like the Lo-Fi Study Beats channels, like the 24/7.
Yeah.
So I did a few albums with them, like purely like I had fun making the songs for sure, just because like I like making all kinds of music, but it was not like where my heart was at. I just kind of did it for the money,
Yeah.
because the pay was really good, and then that like shout out them because that gave me the opportunity to quit my job and fully focus on music. Um,
Damn, that's all.
which is like, yeah, the reason I'm here, honestly, is because I think if I still had the 9 to 5, it would have been way too hard to kind of fully learn, like teach myself guitar, teach myself how to sing, and like actually like make enough music, So
Yeah. That shit must have paid good. That's.
it was good, yeah. Like it was like it wasn't like it's not like life changing, but it was enough where like I was making more money from that than I was at my 9 to 5. So I was like, what am I doing here? So um, I just like was able to save a lot of money and just like live off of that for a bit, and yeah, man, that passive income's crazy, but that's the beauty of music.
um, if you want to get into it, I have a list of questions here that like I'm just kind of looking at, and I did want to know because
Mhm.
I researched you and I saw you did. I don't. Have you done any other interviews? I saw one that you did with Reese, and is that the only one? Because that's all I could find.
Yes, Pop Dust with yeah, that's like my homegirl Demi. She's the best. I've done that interview. I did another interview with I believe their name is Music Box when I was touring with Thanks So Much in Portland. I did like a cool interview with them, and then I've done some other like kind of off the wall ones that probably are hard to find on Google. I think they probably just live in more of like the Instagram space.
Mm.
Like a lot of these blogs will just like only post on Instagram and don't have like a website or whatever. So I've done like stuff like that before, but I think it's definitely not been a ton. I'd say probably like five.
Okay, yeah, because I was trying to like just figure out what was already out there about you, and I couldn't really like
Not a
find
lot,
anything.
dude. I feel like I want to be kind of mysterious, but also, yeah, I don't care too much about, you know,
Well,
getting too into it.
that kind of ruins my follow-up question.
No, you're good. You're good.
I was just gonna ask, like, is there anything you want to, like, I guess, reveal about yourself, or just like to let your fans in, I guess, more on like who you are as a person outside of music, like who you were growing up? Like, is there anything you want to talk
Yeah,
about?
I can definitely go into that. I definitely think a lot of my fans already know this, but I'm, born and raised in Florida, like always was the Florida kid.
Yeah,
Um, and I'm sure I know you said you're South Carolina is kind of like that deep South, kind of like redneck-ish
yeah,
shit of growing up, and shit can get kind of crazy, and just always around like gators and boats and shit and guns and stuff, and yeah, I grew up. I had like a good childhood. Very like religious family, which I kind of broke away from as I got older and kind of was able to think for myself on like what I believed in and all that shit. So
yeah.
it still was like definitely like a good upbringing, like very supportive parents and all that. Like two sisters that I love very much. But yeah, no, it was really good. I had like insane anxiety my whole life. Like I think like a lot of my music comes from like the anxious feelings I've had and like those types of situations through like, you know, ex-girlfriends and stuff like that combined with that. But yeah, like my origin story of anxiety is like ever since I could remember of like being in kindergarten, I would tweak out if I was late for school. Like I just like had to be on time. Like I'd be freaking out. And I remember like I was late one time and it was just like the worst thing. And I was having like an anxiety attack, but I was like 5 years old, so I didn't really realize what the hell was even going on. So I didn't really know what even anxiety was until I was probably like in like high school because it wasn't like super normalized either, and it had like the stigma to it. So I just like lived my early life. I was a very shy kid. I was very introverted. I always kept to myself. I like had friends. I had a very big friend group, but I wasn't like super like outgoing partying and stuff. Like I was very much like I'd rather just like be gaming with my friends online or like finding cool music to listen to and shit. So that's kind of how I was like as a kid. I just like was debilitated by anxiety for most of my life. Um, and now, I have the outlet to kind of like therapeutically write music about it and share my experiences and shit. But yeah, I think like I always was a creative person. I always was drawing and shit. I always was getting in trouble for I got get in trouble in elementary school for like doodling and shit in class, like drawing in my textbooks and shit, and not like, listening to the lecture or whatever.
Yeah.
I was always like doing something creatively. So I think I knew like from the start that I was gonna do something creative. I just didn't, music was never like my skill set growing up. Um, but yeah, that's kind of like my origin story. Like Nothing tragic happened to me other than, like few bad relationships that, we all share to a certain degree. That kind of stuff growing up and, just had like really bad anxiety. But yeah, no, that it's been a journey for sure.
Oh yeah, bro. I also have anxiety, so I
Yeah, dude, it's tough out here, man.
yeah. I have like I don't know. Mine's like it's less about like generalized, and it's more like social anxiety specifically.
For sure, man. Yeah. I've definitely like it's definitely gotten better. I mean, like I'm a big proponent of therapy. I think like with the type of music I make too, I get a lot of like alarming DMs and stuff of kids and shit, and I'm always, trying to steer people in the right direction and stuff on it, because I've been there and shit. But yeah, it is not fun.
Oh, that's awesome that you like read that stuff and like help people out.
I
That's
try to, man. I think like I've always like looked up to people in the music industry back when I was like trying to make music and stuff, and like anytime someone would respond to me, it was like the craziest shit, like in the DMs, like when I was a kid. So it was like I always knew I wanted to take that energy and like put it back, and give back, because it's like, you know it could just be like 5 seconds out of my day to respond to something, but it really means a lot to some of these kids.
yeah.
um can make their day, make their week, like I think like that's what it's all about, is like those kind of moments. So the DMs can get like crazy obviously, but I try to go through and engage like with as many people as possible, because like that's what I would have wanted from the other side.
Yeah, you for sure. I wanted to tell you this story because it relates. But when you responded to my DM, you happened to also make my day because I was just uh, I was in the gym and I saw this girl in there that was wearing a shirt that was like it was like YouTube merch from a YouTuber I watch. And
Hmm.
I'd never seen this in public before, but like I said, I have social anxiety, and I wanted to like say, "Hey, I like your shirt," which is very simple. But like I
Hmm.
fucking sat there and like contemplated it for like 45 minutes. And then I went up and did it, and it was fine. But like my fucking brain was like bouncing off the walls, and I went and I was sitting in my car after just like losing my mind, and then I looked at my phone, and you would like just DM me, and I completely forgot about it. It made my day better.
Dude, that's amazing. I think like those kind of moments are so important, because like you were tweaking out, but you went and you did it still. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? And like think about the way that you would be tweaking if you didn't do it. You know what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah,
Like we are so much harder on ourselves on the things that we don't do.
yeah,
I think it's like that quote from like the end of Minecraft or whatever. It's like you're gonna look back on your life and you're gonna be more upset about the things that you didn't do and the risks that you didn't take than like the failures that you had or whatever.
yeah.
So it's like I'm always like living by that. I'm like, yeah, I have social anxiety, regular generalized anxiety and shit. And then like when all this was happening, I was having to go out to LA, do interviews, or oh yeah, I guess that's a big one that I missed, was I did like the Travis Mills Apple Music interview, which was probably like my biggest one. But yeah, I had to like do all that kind of stuff and like be in those rooms and being recorded and shit, or like performing in front of people for the first time, and like that shit was like unheard of. Like if I knew I was doing that like 5 years, like was gonna be doing that 5 years ago, I'd be like, you're lying. And it's just like I would regret not taking any of those risks. But that's real, dude. Though, yeah,
That's crazy that you remembered the Minecraft quote. I'm just
yeah, dude. I think about it all the time. Like I'm like, I always I think when I look back at like my time in like high school or childhood, or whatever, it's always like, damn, I should have done this. I should have been more like proactive about this. I should have been more outgoing. I should have like told people how I was feeling, yada yada yada. And it's never like, oh, I'm so embarrassed that I did this thing. It's like, no, I don't give a fuck about that. It's like it's more about I wish I would have done more.
yeah,
And I think like kids need to hear that, because like it's hard to it's hard to put it into practice like if you're really going through it, but like that's why I just like can't stress enough. Like just take the risk, man. Like you're gonna be fine.
Yeah,
Like
I think it also it gets easier like the more you do it, like with anxiety specifically when you do something
for
that like
sure.
you're anxious about. It's like exposure.
Dude, yeah, exposure therapy for real.
Yeah.
I tell people that too. Like I think like this was such a big culture shock, like getting put in the spotlight with this project, even though it's not like insanely big or anything. Like it was still like such a culture shock for me, but I learned so much for it from it, and I adapted to it too. Instead of letting it kind of eat me up, I kind of was like, slowly got used to it, and then now I'm like this crazy outgoing person, just like down for whatever kind of thing. But it took a long time to get there, you know?
Yeah. I think I'm on my like social anxiety recovery arc where like I'm kind of like getting over the hump and like
Hell yeah, dude.
taking more risks. I went to therapy for it like last year, and my therapist made me do a bunch of like exposure exercises and shit.
Dude, yeah, honestly, like talk to like two people a day, like randoms. Yeah, it could be anybody. It could be someone in a restaurant or whatever, or someone in the gym.
Yeah.
Just be like, I like your shirt, like that. Like
Yeah.
people love to hear shit like that, you know?
Yeah.
And so and it really like makes a difference.
Oh, I have a question. So, what are you? Do you have like any outside of like music right now? Do you have any like hobbies that you like to do like when you're not working?
Dude, um honestly, like I have like a few. I'm a big gamer, like kind of to a fault. Like I feel like if I'm ever like procrastinating on music, it's because I'm gaming. But I think it's a weird thing because music used to be my hobby and now it's my full-time thing.
Yeah.
And when something like this happens, that I've been working towards for so long, when it starts happening, you tend to be like, okay, well, I have to put all of my eggs in this basket. Now I have to do this full time. I have to drop everything. And so that's what I did, which I obviously don't regret at all. I think like that's exactly what I should have done. But it does make it so you don't really have hobbies anymore and you're kind of just only doing this, but then it's like not really a hobby anymore and a lot of it is work. And so like obviously making the music is still fantastic and fun and performing at shows is really fun, but like doing all of like the other stuff can get like pretty draining and shit of like keeping up with social media and all that stuff. But yeah, I think like I game at night with my friends because I don't have like many friends in Orlando. So I kind of have like my music group of friends that I'm in Discord with that I'm gaming with. I play like Fortnite and Rocket League
Hell yeah.
and Black Ops 6 and shit. And yeah, and then other than that, like I just like bought a gun actually. I bought like a new gun and so I've been like going to the shooting range and shit, which is like that's kind of a lame hobby, but I've just been like doing that, you know. And then I uh I was getting like really big into rock climbing actually.
Oh shit. That's
Um
really cool.
yeah, like just like indoor rock climbing and it's kind of sad because like I got into it, like I went maybe like 2 or 3 times, and I was like, "This is crazy!" I'm like okay at it, but I like wanted to get better at it, you know.
Yeah.
And then like as I was about to sign up for a membership, I broke my wrist like skateboarding, and I had like just gotten back into skating too because I skated a lot as a kid, and so I bought like a complete setup for skateboarding. Was like hitting like a pop shove it, fell in the middle of the street and landed on my wrist and just broke it. And then I obviously couldn't rock climb after that, and then just went straight into I had like a month and a half for that to heal, and then I went straight into the tours over the summer,
Mm.
like this past summer. So I haven't been able to get back into it, but my wrist is like actually healed now, like fully. It took like a long time of like physical therapy and shit for it to like fully get back to like where it was. But yeah, so I think like hobby wise it'd be like shooting guns, rock climbing and gaming.
Hell yeah. That's sick. I want to rock climb. I've seen some like indoor rock climbing gyms, but I've never been to one. But that sounds fun.
Dude, yeah, they're really fun. And everyone there is so nice. It might just be like I've been to a couple and it's same energy, but everyone is so nice there and they're kind of giving you tips and stuff on how to complete like a set or whatever, like that whole thing. And then a lot of like what I liked was not even like getting strapped in like a harness or anything. It's just like I think they call it bouldering, where you're not really going up very high. You know, it's kind of just like it's always a distance where you could fall on the mat and be fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, that shit's like really fun though, and it's a good workout too.
I really want to indoor skydive where you get in those like tubes and they like.
Oh, dude, I had like an old coworker that fucked up his ears from that shit,
Oh
so I'm
really?
so scared to go. Cause like my ears are everything now with music, so I'm like, he has like crazy tinnitus from it. I think it was like a fluke for sure, but now I'm always like, I'm not going, bro.
Yeah.
Too risky, man.
So what what's next for you like as far as music goes? You got any like obviously you're doing those shows in Florida, but do you have any like plans to release anything anytime soon that you want to talk about?
Yeah, shows wise, like I think like all I can talk about is the Florida show. I have like a New York show that I'm gonna be promoting like next week. That's early February. That was kind of a one-off opportunity that came up. Um, and then I'm gonna be touring a lot in 2025. I just can't like say anything on it yet. But yeah, no, I plan to drop. I'm hoping to drop two albums in 2025. So I have one that's like really close to being finished, and then I have um well, I don't have any of the second album yet because I'm just kind of focused on one album at a time. But yeah, so I have one that's pretty close to finished that I'm hoping to be able to drop like sometime maybe like late spring, early summer. And then basically where I'm at right now is I'm finishing the album. Once the album's done, I'm just gonna go straight back into like writer's camp mode. Like bring my people that I like making music with together in a spot for a couple weeks, and I'll start like the initial writing process and the demos for the second album. So I'm trying to go hard this year, like with touring and just dropping as much music as I can that's like quality still. Um, so yeah, that's like my plan right now, at least. I can't see past 2025 just because like there's so much. So like I'm just like right now it's like just do two albums, tour a bunch and keep up with like social media is like the move. But yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, the album's sick. It's gonna have it'll have like my single buzzing on it. I'll probably drop like one or two more songs from the album and then drop everything. But yeah, I think like I'm always trying to do like different shit. I'm always trying to do cool shit with my rollouts and stuff. And like we did a short film for Buzzin', and that was fun. I've like never acted before. I think like I'm hoping to do another short film in 2025 that is more like a horror genre, like found footage.
Yeah. Oh, that'd
And
be sick.
yeah, I'm hoping to do that because I just want to keep expanding like my creative like world a bit and bring the audience into more of like, oh, this dude makes music on Spotify. It's like, no, like here's his films, here's like his live performances, like here are like his songs, and it all ties in to the music and the world building. So I'm hoping to do the short film like sometime in 2025 and hopefully attach it to a rollout with the music. But I want to give it like a really good shot of like submitting to film festivals and shit and start to get in that lane a little bit more because that's like some background on me is I'm like super obsessed with horror movies.
Me too.
Especially like the DIY found footage stuff. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, have you seen Creep before?
No, I have not.
You should check it out.
Creep.
It's a really like creepy, like super like low budget found footage of um this guy that rents out an Airbnb like in a log cabin type of environment and gets people on Craigslist to come to the Airbnb to quote unquote film for the day for like $1,000, and he's actually like a serial killer
Oh shit.
that's like toying with them and shit, and it's fucking crazy. But there's two movies, and then they just released a series.
Yeah, I was about to say there's a
Um,
Creed 2. There's a sequel.
yeah, yeah. So I'm watching like the series right now. It's just like quick, like 30-minute episodes. But yeah, if you like scary shit, man, it's good stuff. But yeah, nah, I'm really big into like all that kind of shit. So I'm hoping to just expand and keep upscaling the projects. Like, I mean, I'm never gonna stop making music, but I also like love the idea of doing like um different things.
Hell yeah. I wanted to say, you don't have to give anything away, but it'd be really cool if on your tour you went to like Charlotte, North Carolina, and I would definitely go to that. That's pretty close to me.
Hell yeah,
So.
man. Are you tapped in with Scarlet House at all?
No, what's that?
Scarlet House is a band. He's a one-man band. He's based in Charlotte though.
Okay. Yeah,
But
I see him. I just looked him up.
he's like, in my opinion, he's probably the most talented person doing shoegaze right now. He's a buddy of mine. Really good dude. But yeah, he's based in Charlotte, and I got a bunch of family all around North Carolina. But I think I'll definitely pop through. I think Charlotte is a big spot. It's like Charlotte, like Asheville, Raleigh,
Yeah.
kind of areas or whatever. But yeah, I'll definitely pop through
Hell yeah.
on like the next big tour.
That's cool. I'll definitely attend when that
Hell
happens.
yeah, man! I'll put you on guest list. It'd be fun.
Do you have to go soon?
You're chilling. I'm kind of just waiting for my friend to get to my house to pick me up,
Okay.
and then but she should be here at 8, so I think let's just keep running it.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Is your I couldn't find anything on it. Is your age public? Because I think you said you went to college and stuff, and you're like out of college now.
Yeah, my age isn't public. I feel like I don't want to drop it yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like, like I'm definitely older and I have my wits about me and shit, but I'll keep it on the down low for now.
I mean, you seem like a very mature, like put together person.
Yeah, no, I definitely I think like the age is like something interesting to talk about because it's like I think, if I was 19 when this was all happening, I would be in panic mode and I wouldn't really know what to do and how to handle it and stuff. So I think like me being a bit older is kind of like it's really a blessing that I was able to I think like everything happens at the right time for the right reason. And not to be like spiritual or whatever, but like I just feel like it all happens like when it should. And so yeah, I'm definitely grateful that I have like my wits about me. I have my wisdom and stuff, and then even just like having the time to be in like the finance like job and stuff like out of college and stuff for a bit before all of this was like gave me so much like experience and stuff on how to like run a business instead of like I'm just making music. It's like no, I want to capitalize on every aspect of this. I want to make sure the advertising's great and the marketing. I want to make sure like our t-shirts are great, like good blanks and stuff. Like I want the live performance to be right, and I think like I don't know if I'd really be tapped in like that if I was super young when it all happened.
Speaking of t-shirts, that butthole t-shirt was very cool.
Yeah, dude. I shout out Copes. Copes is who we did the collab with. Um And then yeah, we came up with the idea to just blast it because I had just like became a member at this like shooting range. So I was like, I'm just gonna shoot the shirt. Like hopefully they're cool with it. And then like that was just to promote the shirt. But then like all these people were like, we want like the 101 bullet shirt. So I was like, all right, fuck it, I'll give it away to somebody.
I
So yeah.
I'm in your Discord and I saw
Oh word.
did the person that won it ever like reach out?
Yes, yeah. She's actually like local too.
Hell
There's
yeah.
someone in Orlando. I gotta like ship that out tomorrow actually. But But yeah, no, it was she responded to the email. So yeah, a lot of people disappointed, but I'd never done a giveaway before, so it really made me realize like, oh shit, I should be doing that more. Like I think like people really fucked with it. So
Yeah,
I'll try to do more stuff like that in the future.
there's also something very like I don't know, like cool about having a shirt that someone like got.
Yeah, it's like distressed or whatever,
Yeah.
you know, like it's a thrashed t-shirt with the bullet holes. Might have to shoot some more. Just like set 5 shirts up on the target at once and just shoot through all of them. Like, all right, we'll give them out at shows.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Hell yeah.
What's your how much like I haven't looked into this. How much like merch have you put out so far, like shirts and like clothes and stuff?
I have like not a lot of merch out actually. I think like the Copes drop with like the Max Fry Zombie shirt was like my biggest drop so far. A lot of the merch that I've done in the past has been like merch made just for shows. So I have like I had this merch that not a lot of people know about. That was kind of like a failed drop because we I just like set it up poorly with like how it was on Shopify or whatever. But there's this artist named John Sick who is a cool dude that paints a lot of like rappers and stuff and has like an interesting style and shit to the way that he draws and paints. And so he painted this girl on the shirt and it said dead girl on it from like the zombie lyric
Yeah.
dead girl. And we dropped that and we sold like 15 of them only. And like it was crazy because when I was over in Europe touring with Thanks So Much, like at the end of it, we had a headline show in London, and some girl had the shirt on, and I was like, dude, like you realize only like 12 people have those, like that's crazy.
That's insane. That's
So
exclusive.
yeah, so I had that one, and then we did a bunch of like more than dead to me type of merch for shows that were kind of like the cover art of Lightspeed with the gun. And then yeah, so we're bringing that back for the Florida shows, and then I also got like this new merch um that we are I like put it in my live stream for a bit, but you'll see it soon. It's like just a new design, and yeah, so I'm excited about that. And I think like I bought a shit ton of blanks, like or a shit ton of merch, so I'm just gonna be running like if I don't sell out on the tour, like I'm just gonna put that stuff online, so people will be able to like get it if they want it.
Nice. How did you say you were touring with Thanks So Much?
Yeah, yeah.
How
So
was that?
that was so fun. Like honestly, that was like my first big tour. So I had just done kind of like smaller one-off shows in LA and New York and stuff. So that was like such a good opportunity for me. I feel like I learned how to perform better, but I also learned how to like be a good opener for an artist. You know, I kind of like learned how to win over a crowd that doesn't like all know me. You know, I think like for the headline shows, it's super fun because everyone there is just going crazy. But like when you're opening for someone, you know, like we are similar genre, but not everybody knows who I am, obviously. So I think like that was an important skill, an important like growing pain to like get over was like learning how to win over a crowd, get people hyped for like the next act after me, which is just like a valuable skill in this industry. But as far as like Thanks So Much and his team, Thanks So Much is like one of the nicest dudes I've ever met. I got to like after we made our song together, you know, I obviously was like up in Canada with him,
Yeah.
shooting the music video and stuff. Like his whole team is great. Like I love all of his bandmates and everything. So that's like the big thing of touring is the behind the scenes stuff that like no one sees. Like you really, really want to get along with the people you're on the road with, you know, that you're bumping elbows with. So
Yeah.
that was a blessing that I got to do a run like that when everybody was just so nice to me and supportive. They were hyping up my set like every night, you know, in the green room and stuff. And so that made me feel like super welcomed and everything. So I definitely would love to like run some more with him. But yeah, super good dude.
That's awesome. He's pretty massive, like as far as like
Yeah, dude. I mean, that shit's crazy, honestly. That shit is just crazy. Like when I like the spit in my face and hate and stuff. Like I mean, he's just he knows what's up, man. But yeah, he's a very diligent artist too. Like I can't like say that enough. Like he's very, very critical and attention to detail,
Mm.
and yeah, just very, very diligent and a perfectionist type of artist, and I really respect that. So it makes sense that he puts out quality stuff.
Oh yeah. I appreciate about just the indie community in general, like kind of it's
Dude, yeah,
yeah, like it seems like a lot of indie artists like kind of like click up and like look out for each other and like have nothing but nice things to say, which
that's
I really
total.
appreciate.
Yeah, that's totally how it feels, man. I think there's like beefs here and there, but it's like as a whole, like I feel like everyone like has been really nice to me, and it feels like you kind of build up this sense of community in a way where it's like if you listen to Lil Peep at all back in the day of like the goth boy clique type stuff, and it's
Yeah,
like I feel like it's important to build that kind of community like with like the new generation or like the new wave of music and shit. And so I think we have a cool pocket of people that are doing like this kind of shit. Um, so yeah, pretty stoked about it.
speaking of beef, you mentioned in that other interview, what was it? You said Pop Shelf, is that what it's called?
Oh, Pop
Or
Dust?
Pop Dust? Yeah, Pop
Yeah.
Dust. You mentioned a beef with Drake for copyright. So is that serious or
No, that wasn't serious. Yeah, we just wanted to do some clickbaity stuff with that. But no, I mean, I really don't have any thoughts on Drake to be honest. I don't really like him or hate him, you know. I'm kind of just like it's just not my thing. I think like
yeah,
he's good at like writing pop records though, you know.
yeah, yeah, oh yeah, for sure. I mean, like he's like the best. I feel
Yeah,
like to make music.
historically just good at that
Yeah.
and a good businessman.
Did
Yeah.
you pay attention to like the beef? I imagine you did, but
Like Kendrick and all that.
yeah,
Yeah, it was kind of hard to avoid it. I feel
yeah,
like I was seeing all of it. I don't know. I don't know like enough about it to even like speak on it. I feel like just like my gut feeling though was like siding with Kendrick just because like I fucking like was listening to Money Trees and fucking Poetic Justice and shit and like back in my childhood, you know what I mean? So I was just kind of like I don't know. That's like where
yeah.
my heart was at, but
I'm a big Kendrick fan. I'm going to. He's playing in Charlotte in like May. I'm gonna be there. It's gonna
oh,
be.
that's gonna be sick. Who? Oh, yeah, it's with SZA, right?
Yeah, it's with SZA.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy. I'm a big like Baby Keem fan actually too.
Me
I
too.
like Baby Keem a lot. Yeah, he's sick. Good shit.
You should like. You should collab with him in the future. Like
Collab with Baby
on
Keem, that'd be crazy, man.
on like
I
a
don't know.
indie song.
Hey, I'm down, dude.
Yeah.
If he wants to, I'm down.
So what's what's life like? Is I don't know.
Dude, it's been good,
I don't know.
honestly.
Like I don't know. I guess I'm sitting here and I'm trying to imagine. I guess what it would be like in your shoes. But like
I think there's times where it gets overwhelming. I think like I battled a lot with that, like kind of the culture shock of the world that the music industry is when you pull the curtain behind and you see how everything operates at a high level and you realize like everyone has teams, everyone's running like crazy marketing campaigns, like dumping all this money into it. Um, it's kind of a lot, and I think that having like your life be put under like the magnifying glass, even at a small level like this, like still is a lot too. So I think like I let that kind of get to me and overwhelm me a little bit, but I've been like way better about it now, just kind of like focusing on me and just not treating it as a bad thing and just more like treating it as like I'm lucky to be here and doing this thing, which like a lot of people like don't aren't as fortunate and don't have that, privilege to be able to write music all day
yeah,
and maybe have to like grind a job or whatnot like I was, and and that shit sucks. So I'm like super thankful. Um, I think like if anything, I kind of just wish like I had more free time to like be closer with my family and shit. I feel like the industry is so like go 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 because I'm not where I want to be. I want to keep upscaling and keep doing better. And I think like these are the years that I have to really sacrifice a lot to make sure that I'm growing everything properly and I'm taking advantage of everything the right way. So I do like miss that. Like there's been times like I just like haven't had as much time to be around family and all that. But other than that, man, it's been good. Like I really can't complain. Like I'm out here in Orlando in a nice spot and I'm just, get to tuck away and be a recluse and work on music and pop out to different places for shows and stuff or pop out to LA for a bit and write music and it's very chill. So I'm very much blessed and thankful for how everything is going right now. And I'm very like happy too. Like my music is very angry and sad. But I'm in such a good mental headspace recently. So, I'm still always gonna be able to write music that way, but it's like
Yeah, I feel like almost it probably helps to like create art that is like angry and sad and then like be happy in your day-to-day life because you kind of get that energy out of your system
yeah.
almost like,
And a lot of people are like, "Oh, you're like happy, you're doing well. Is it gonna be hard for you to write music?" And I'm always like, "No, because the music that I write is stuff that I'm pulling from real experiences that happened to me that were like the worst times of my life. Like they might not be the worst time of my life for 2 months straight, but these slivers of these things that happened, for a day or whatever, for an hour, these horrible things that happen, I can easily tap right back into that and know how I was feeling during that and be like, holy shit, that was dark.
yeah.
And I can make a song on that one instance. So, um, that's another thing I'm blessed on. I feel like I'm never running out of like ideas for music and shit. I'm always just wanting to make new stuff. So I'm very blessed that way too, from like a writer's block standpoint. But it's really the fans that kind of fuel it. I feel like once I started getting a lot of praise for the EP, it just made me want to just keep making music. Like I had so much more inspiration and like the fire was lit under my ass. I was just like, all right, like I'm down to just keep grinding this shit out. So, but
Speaking
yeah.
of, you said you've been blessed with writer's block, like not having it. Have you ever had it like in the past? Because I deal with that. Like I,
Yeah.
yeah,
I think I've definitely had it in the past. I've definitely had it still in small bursts. I think I just know how to handle it better now. I think
what would
that
your advice be for?
my advice, like for me personally, I don't really get writer's block on a whole level where I can't do anything. I usually just get blocked on one song. So I think like I'll be stuck on a song and I'm trying to force it. I'm like, I haven't done this chorus yet, or I haven't done this verse yet, or I haven't there's a piece of it missing. I need to do it, but I've heard the song so many times how it is, so it's really hard for me to finish it. And so I think like that stuff happens a lot, and that's completely normal. I think like my advice is like finish the song as fast as you can from a structural standpoint, so then you can like finish it on the back end um, with like small details, but get the bulk of it done in the beginning.
Okay.
Other advice is like if you have the block, like that's fine. Just put the song on the back burner. Don't listen to it. Like that's the biggest thing. Just don't like visit your work, whatever it is that you're having block with. Like just take a full break from it and do something else. And a lot of people say, like do something completely different. Like for me, it's just like I just tap in with another song and I do it that way. And then I think like when I tell all my friends is inspiration is not this constant flow. I think I'm blessed with inspiration because the project is going well. I have a lot of people in my DMs and stuff, and I'm seeing a lot of like comments on YouTube and everything of people that are really enjoying the music, and I'm seeing it in the numbers and the streams. So that gives me inspiration, and touring obviously gives me so much inspiration. So like if you don't have all those things like me, it's like inspiration comes in different pockets, whether you watched a movie or you saw something, you saw a live performance. I think like the most important thing is realizing that inspiration is not a constant source. So when it comes around, harness it. Like get off your ass and do something with that inspiration because inspiration can come around and just float over your head and you can not harness it and not do anything with it and then it can be gone just like that. So when it is there, drop everything and use it. That's what I tell my friends at least.
That's honestly very good advice.
But yeah, writer's block's a bitch. I've had it like, like I've been doing music 11 years, so like there's been plenty of times where I just could not do anything. But yeah, I think like the situation I'm in right now, it makes it so like just coming back from Europe after the Thanks So Much tour, I had so much inspiration. It was crazy. So I was like, let me just sit down, not do anything for like a week and just write music. So it was good.
Yeah, the reason I asked that is because like I've been like trying to make music and it's not very good, but like I guess sometimes like I'll have a situation where like I can sit down and like you said like do like the full structure of a song in
Mhm.
like maybe like 20 or 30 minutes, and then sometimes I'll be sitting there for like 2 hours like working on the same thing and like I just can't do it. And then like there's one in particular like I recorded like the first verse and that's it. Like I recorded one verse and I thought it was really great. And I was like, "Oh man, this is going to be a great song." And I couldn't do anything else on it.
Yes, dude. It's real. You just gotta completely like put that one on the back burner and come back to it. Cause like there's been so many times I come back to a song and you hear it in a different context if you haven't heard it in a long time.
Mm,
But if your brain hears it like a certain way so many times, it's gonna be hard for your brain to think of new ways to approach it and what to do with it. Um, but yeah, like when I was learning how to sing, I was good at producing, but I was shit at singing. I made like for a year before my EP, I just made like the shittiest songs. Like it was just the worst. But I just pumped them out and I didn't drop them or anything. But I was just like going through the motions. Like make a bad song, okay, move on to the next song. Make another bad song, okay, move on. They're gonna get to a point where they're good.
yeah.
It's
How did
just like
when did you know they were good? Because I feel like I've had moments where like I feel like I make something good, and then like I come back to it like a couple weeks later, and I'm like, oh, that wasn't actually that great.
yeah, I think it's like you like I would cringe at hearing myself like when I was singing and stuff. And I think the first song I made for my EP was Rotten. And that was when I was like, holy shit, like I don't like actually like how I sound. And then that's when I was like, oh shit. So always trust your gut is a big thing. Don't listen. It's good to have feedback, but at the end of the day, like you gotta stand with your gut on what you think is good because it's your music at the end of the day. So, but yeah, I think my friend just pulled up.
Okay.
If you want to do like should we do like an outro thing or something or?
I mean, we don't really have to do an outro, but it was nice.
Oh yeah.
It was nice to talk to you, and I'll uh, I'll try to keep in touch with you in the DMs if you want to
Yep.
do it.
Yeah, of course, man. I'll let you know or keep an eye out for the Charlotte show, bro. I'll put you on guest list. But yeah, it's been a pleasure, man.
All
Thanks for
right.
your time.
Thank you.
All right, have a good one, bro.
You too.
See ya.